Presented by the Making Star Wars Podcasting Network. This is the Cantina Cast, your watering hole for thought-provoking Star Wars discussion, character dissections, quote and scene analysis, honest opinions on the Star Wars news that interests you, and whatever else these guys come up with. Here are your hosts, Mike and Joa.
Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. Mike here from the Cantina Cast, and I'm going to be going solo in this bonus episode, and not because Joa has vanished. He's working. I'm actually off. I've been off the last 2 days. We just recorded episode 204 a couple of nights ago, and unfortunately, the Han Solo announcement for the title came out after that. So on episode 204, there will not be any news on the Han Solo title. And I thought, well, I have a few days off here. I might as well, record an episode or a bonus episode about my thoughts on the Han Solo title, which seems to be, kind of mixed emotions with the fandom. But in any case, and yes, at the top of the show, when I said I was coming at you solo, it's because, well, it's fitting, don't you think? And yes, it was intended. So let's get into this. One of my thoughts with Han Solo is I'm very uneasy with this film from the start. As you've all probably heard on plenty of episodes where Joe and I and a couple of our guests that have come on have also been kind of wishy-washy with it. And it didn't help that the directors were fired basically through most of the filming when it was already done. So, I was always apprehensive to begin with. So my feelings on the Han Solo film as a whole, as it stands, I guess now, is I'm not sure doing a movie about Han Solo is a right choice because, well, the big three are people that you shouldn't touch, or characters you shouldn't touch, I should say, because they're kind of sacred. Han Solo being one of them, although I've said on an episode way back a while ago that, if they're going to do anything, it would be with Han Solo. He's kind of the one you would go with because, you can interchange him. Not interchange him, but you can introduce him in a way where you get Lando, you get his backstory, you get Chewbacca, maybe Boba Fett. There's a lot of things you could do, but is it the right thing to do? I'm not too sure. I'm not really sold on that at the moment. I'm a little on edge, I guess you could say, when it comes to this stuff. So, but unfortunately, the directors were fired. People get a little, on edge, and then here we go. We get Ron Howard, a veteran director that comes in and kind of seems to calm things down with fandom from what I gather, because he did these awesome tweets with these photos of things that are going on, hinted at things, and it was really refreshing, actually, to see that from the director that's involved with a top secret project from Lucasfilm and stuff. So I think Ron Howard was a good choice to bring him in and everything. However, it was so late in the game. I don't know if the Kasdan rewrote the script. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I don't know personally off the top of my head here. So I was a little, I don't know, a little wary on this. Could Ron pull it off? Can he pull it off? I think if there is a director that could pull it off, it's a veteran director like Ron Howard could do that. So that remains to be seen. So fans are still, kind of wishy-washy. I think it's more the older fans like myself. Like, I think if you're 41 like me, or even in your 30s, and you grew up with Han a lot, I'm not sure how the younger audience feels about the Han Solo film. I'm kind of out of touch with that, to be honest, which is weird because I kind of know what you guys tweet about and everything in the Discord and everything. But I'm just curious. So give me your feedback on what you guys actually think of Ron Howard taking it, and the fact that they're doing a Han Solo film to begin with. Is it good, bad, indifferent? We'll see. I think one of the things, and I'm going to mention a little bit of trailer talk here now because things are done, everything's wrapped up, and as Ron Howard said in his little tweet, and he showed the card that said Solo on it, he says, "I'll see you next year." Would a trailer ease and calm down fans a little bit? I think so. When we'll get that, your guess is as good as mine. I don't think it'll be anything to do with The Last Jedi. I don't think they like to cross the stream, so to speak, at Lucasfilm when it comes to that, because we still have people confused about Rogue One with Rey and everything. There was people that were confused about that. So I'm not really sure if a trailer would calm us down. I think it will. I think we'll probably get it in January. If I had to guess, maybe February. We got to get some kind of a tease, I think, just to calm us down and to bring us back on the ground and kind of relax a little bit, I think maybe. But like I said, I don't know when the heck that would be. But we do need something, I think, to calm us down. So my thoughts on the title itself. I wasn't initially surprised because, it was either going to be Han Solo, or maybe the Kessel Run. I think that's the sexy one that everyone really wanted to go with because of what he says in A New Hope and stuff like that. And like you guys, at first, I was a little apprehensive. I wasn't big on Solo. I was like, well, is this? I mean, yeah, it's okay. That's about what I expected. And I was kind of like you guys. It's like it felt a little flat, I guess. And then I also thought of again with the confusion of and I hate using this term, but the casual fans or just the normal moviegoer that's going in there and maybe seeing The Force Awakens and they realize Ben Solo is a Solo as well, and maybe they would be confused and think this was about Ben Solo, which I know it sounds laughable maybe to us podcasters and people who listen to Star Wars podcasts and stuff like that. But there are people out there that might get it confused and whatnot. So there's that. But then as I thought about it, I'm sitting there thinking, all right, Solo, does this make it even worse than what it was with the directors being fired? Does it just keep getting worse and worse as we go on with this spin-off movies? Like, the fire the directors, you get another director to come in, rewriting the script and all these things, and now you just do this title that's called Solo, which I think was teased earlier with Woody Harrelson wearing a shirt that said Solo on it, but it had his blaster in the middle of it, which I like better, but I get why they went with the yellow. That's how they would do it, with the Star Wars moniker. You wouldn't put the blaster in there in like the official movie thing when we show the title in the movie, would you? I don't know. Maybe I would. I mean, what the heck? They should maybe. But anyway, so I kept thinking about this with the character Solo. So I had to venture off from just what's on the surface, and I said, all right, Solo, we're going into his younger days, and this is what he is. This is who he is at that point. He's a solo man. He's about himself. He's about his self-interest, and he's not really a caring person, so to speak, on the surface. He's in it for the money, I guess you could say, as it was kind of hinted at in A New Hope, which changes at the end. But I think that's why they went with Solo. It makes sense that, all right, we're going to show this character at a younger age, so we got to call it what it is, Solo. He's Solo at this point. That's the whole point of it. In any case, and then you see, there are seeds of him having a loyalty and caring about someone or another being, which is Chewbacca. Chewbacca, as I always said, is kind of his anchor. He kind of gets in Han's ear and maybe is the voice of reason for Han. I've always believed that. I believe that when in A New Hope, and the reason he came back is because Chewie was kind of, sulking and kind of maybe growling in his ear to go back and save the kid or to help out and stuff. And that just takes away from Chewie getting that makes it even worse for Chewie not getting a medal, don't you think, guys, at the end of A New Hope? But so there were the seeds of him wanting, becoming loyal and caring and thinking other than himself. And you kind of see that as we go through A New Hope, it kind of gradually comes to the surface, and then at the end, it's there. So I think title-wise, I think it's a smart choice when you look at it, because it's about the character, it's about Han Solo, and this is where he was at that point in his life. He was Solo. He wasn't really, caring about anybody else or thinking of anything else. He was just trying to survive and do his thing, and he had his co-pilot Chewie there to help him out whenever he needed a hand, and Chewie never let him down. He was always there, and that was something. I think, actually, now that I think about it, Chewie plays a key role, and obviously in Han's development as a character. We always think that Luke and maybe Leia brought that out in Han, but Chewie was there in the beginning and kind of got him to think other than himself, I think. But and another a dynamic that I think what I'm mostly looking forward to this movie as of right now, that could change. We need a trailer and get a better idea of where we're going with this movie, but is the fact that Lando and Han and their relationship and how that works. And we know he's in there because we've seen pictures of Lando teased on the Falcon and stuff like that. But I'm wondering what that relationship was at this point back in the day, in those early days, because I get the feeling they were kind of close. Han obviously wins the Falcon, and maybe Lando feels double-crossed and betrayed in a way, which kind of makes them even when you get to Empire Strikes Back. I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic that to think that way. Will they go that way? I'm not sure. Of course, like you, I'm in the dark and don't know what they're going to do. But what are your thoughts on that? What are you guys most looking forward to with this film? Are you looking for the dynamic with Chewie, how he meets Chewie, if he's already met Chewie, Han's relationship with maybe what Woody Harrelson's character is, Garrus, I believe his name is, I guess allegedly, or Lando? Is that? I mean, there's a lot kind of going on there when you think about it with setting the foundation with these relationships and how he interacts with people. So I imagine he's more standoffish, and maybe he's not even close to Lando at all. Maybe he's just, whatever. We're both pirates, and we're in it for winning it, so to speak. But there's that in Return of the Jedi where they kind of have that closeness in a way. You feel like in the past they were kind of close. They had a bit of a connection in the past. So I would think that at this point they kind of had some kind of a relationship, and obviously things go sour, as things tend to do in Star Wars, with relationships and stuff like that. It's all drama and craziness and stuff like that. But in any case, those are just my initial thoughts on the Han Solo title. I think it's perfect for what it is. I don't think we should panic and be all meh. I mean, if you don't like the title, you don't like the title. There's nothing I can do to change your mind. I just think from a creative standpoint and from looking at the character's standpoint, I think it's a pretty good option. I think it was the right choice now that I sit back and think about it a little bit more. And I ask you guys, maybe do the same thing. Just sit on it for a little bit. Think about it. Think about the character, where they could go and how they could go with the character and stuff like that. But anyway, that's going to do it for this little bonus episode. It's a short episode. It's just my quick thoughts on what I thought of the Han Solo title. And hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys next week. You're still listening? Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm here to give you the disclaimer. Normally we do a big, long, drawn-out disclaimer thing saying what's what and who's what and all that other stuff, but I think you guys kind of know that Lucasfilm and Disney have no affiliation with us at all, and we have none with them. We talk about Star Wars, which is their property, and all that other good, fun stuff, but I think you can tell which is our stuff and which is their stuff. If you can't, well, then send a lawyer to send an email to me, and I'll be glad to chat with them. Other than that, you know what's what, so that's your disclaimer.